The night was quiet on Sector 19B. Jack, a human engineer, was sitting alone in his repair station. He was drinking cold coffee and looking at the stars. He had been on this space colony for 2 years. Nothing exciting ever happened here. Just fixing old machines and watching space. Suddenly, the ground shook. A loud boom filled the sky. Jack stood up fast and ran outside. He saw smoke and fire far away, near the rocky cliffs. Something had crashed. He grabbed his jacket and tools, jumped on his hoverbike, and rushed toward the crash site. As he reached closer, he saw broken metal pieces and a burning alien ship. The design was strange, not like anything from Earth or nearby planets. The ship was long, silver, and had glowing blue lines. Jack walked carefully, scanning for life signs. Then he heard something, a soft cry. Like a child, he followed the sound and found a small alien girl hiding under a piece of broken metal. Her skin was light purple, and her eyes were big and shiny. She looked scared and hurt. Jack slowly walked toward her and said, "It's okay. I won't hurt you." The girl looked at him, tears in her eyes. She whispered, "Human, are you single?" Jack froze. "What?" The girl spoke again, this time louder. "Are you single? My mom is very kind. You have to marry her." "Please." Jack was completely confused. "Wait, what? Who are you? What's your name?" She held her arm. A small device lit up. "My name is Illyri. I'm from planet Xylon. They're coming. You need to help us." Before Jack could ask more, a red alert started beeping on his wristband. His station's iVoice said, "Warning, unknown alien ship detected. Possible threat. High-level alien nearby. Kill on sight." Jack looked at the girl. She was shaking. "They will kill my mom." "You are the only one who can help." Jack knew. He couldn't leave her here. He picked her up and ran back to his hoverbike. As he drove back, the girl fell asleep in his arms. Back at the repair station, Jack placed her on the bed. He scanned her body. She had some burns and a broken arm. He used his medkit to heal her wounds. She looked peaceful now. Then he heard another sound, something coming from this storage unit. He took his laser tool and walked slowly toward it. The door was open. Inside, he saw a cryo chamber. A tall figure was lying inside. It was a woman. Her face looked similar to the girl. Same purple skin, long silver hair. But she was bigger, stronger, and more beautiful than any alien Jack had ever seen. The chamber showed signs of damage. Jack pressed the unlock button. Steam filled the room. The woman opened her eyes. They glowed blue. She sat up slowly. Jack stepped back, unsure. She looked around, then saw the girl lying on the bed. She stood up fast, breathing hard. "Where is she? Where's my daughter?" Jack raised his hands. "She's safe. She's resting." The woman looked at him closely. "You human?" "Yes." Jack said. She stepped forward. "Did she ask you to marry me?" Jack was stunned. "Wait, she meant that? She wasn't joking." The woman nodded. "My name is Rilla. I'm her mother. And now you're involved in something very dangerous." Jack frowned. "Why did your ship crash?" Rilla looked away. "Because we ran away." "From war? From people who want to use my daughter's powers?" Jack looked at Illyri. She was still sleeping. "She's special?" he asked. Rilla nodded. "More than you can imagine." Suddenly the power went out. The room turned dark. A red light blinked on Jack's control screen. He checked the monitor. Unmanned drones were flying toward his station. "They found us," Rilla said quietly. "They're coming." Jack grabbed his tools. "Then let's be ready." Asterisk. The lights flickered again. Jack stood near the door. His repair station, holding a plasma wrench like a weapon. His eyes scanned the sky. A dark shape passed overhead fast, silent, watching behind him. The alien woman, Rilla, stood still like a statue. Her long silver hair moved gently in the breeze from the broken air vent. Her eyes, glowing blue, stared straight at Jack. "You shouldn't have opened that chamber," she said calmly. Jack turned to her, confused. "Why? You needed help." "Your daughter Illyri, she begged me." Rilla took a slow step forward. "You don't understand where I'm from. Unlocking a Queen's cryo chamber is a sacred act." Jack blinked. Wait, Queen? Before she could answer it, a small voice came from the hallway. Illyri stood there, awake, holding a blanket. Her injured arm was wrapped in bandages. She walked toward her mother and hugged her tightly. I knew he'd help, Illyri said softly. He's the one. Jack looked between the two, still confused. Okay, someone explain what's going on. Why does this little girl want me to marry her mom? And why are drones tracking you? Rilla sat on a bench and motioned for Jack to sit too. I will explain everything, she said. But first, answer one question honestly. Jack nodded. Okay. She looked deep into his eyes. Would you protect a child that is not yours, even if it costs you everything? Jack didn't answer right away. He looked at Illyri, now smiling and sipping warm juice. Then back at Rilla. Yes, he said finally. I already did. A strange silence filled the room. Rilla gave a small nod. Then, maybe... She was right to choose you. Flashback sequence. Rilla's passed as Jack listened. Rilla told him about planet Xylan, a beautiful world filled with strange creatures and advanced technology. She was a military leader once, part of the royal bloodline, but Illyri was different. Born with rare energy inside her, a living power source. The Empire wanted to turn her into a weapon. I escaped with her the night before the bonding ritual. Rilla said they were going to chain her mind, use her to control others. Jack couldn't believe what he was hearing. That's insane, Rilla nodded. So we ran, but they followed. Our ship was damaged during hyperspace. We crashed here, on this lonely edge of space, and now they will come. Back in present time, Jack stood and walked to the window. So, what's your plan now? Keep running? No, Rilla said. Now that you've been seen with us, they will mark you too. They'll think you're my bondmate. Jack turned sharply. Hold on, bondmate. Is that like marriage? Yes, Rilla said. On Xylan? When a queen's awakened by someone's hand, the bond is sacred. You are now legally my husband. Jack laughed nervously. Legally? I didn't even say yes. Rilla stood. But your actions spoke louder. Jack opened his mouth to argue, but the station's power cut out again. This time, everything went dark. Red lights blinked on his emergency screen. Intruder detected stealth drone. Class 5 hunter engagement. 60 seconds. They're here. Action sequence. Rilla grabbed a strange silver glove from her belt and put it on. It hummed with energy. Stay behind me. Jack picked up a shock blaster. No offense, but I'm not great at hiding. The wall exploded. A black drone hovered. Into the room spinning blades, red eye, clicking sounds. It scanned everyone. Target acquired. It said in a robotic voice dot. It moved toward Illyri. Jack fired. The drone dodged fast and returned fire. Sparks flew. Jack was thrown to the ground. Rilla raised her hand. A wave of blue energy shot from her glove. It hit the drone, slowing it. Jack took his chance and shot again, this time hitting the drones. Core dot boom. The drone exploded. Smoke filled the room. Illyri ran to Jack. Are you okay? Jack coughed. Still single, apparently. Rilla stood beside him. Her expression was unreadable. Not for long, if you survive. Ending hook. Cliffhanger. Outside, in the sky above Sector 19B, 5 more drones entered Earth's atmosphere. And behind them, a black starship with the royal crest of Xylan. They had found her dot, and now they were coming for all of them. Dot asterisk. Jack was dreaming dot in his dream. He was floating through stars, holding a small glowing crystal. A voice whispered from the dark, "Say yes, and you'll never be alone again." Then suddenly he woke up. But something was wrong. He wasn't in his bed. He was floating, literally. Jack opened his eyes and saw Rilla standing across the room, her hand raised. He was suspended in the air, glowing blue, like gravity had stopped working. Okay. Jack shouted. What are you doing? Rilla slowly lowered her hand. Jack dropped onto the bed with a thud. I needed to test something, she said. My glove responds to emotional bond signals. Your dream was strong. Jack stared at her. You were inside my dream? She didn't answer. She turned away. Early morning, the repair STIO and Jack walked into the main hall. Still annoyed, Illyri, the alien child, sat at the table eating fruit cubes. She smiled at him. Did Mom show you the marriage file? Jack raised an eyebrow. What marriage file? Illyri ran to the console and tapped a few buttons. A hologram appeared, a legal document in alien language. See? She said. You touched her chamber. You saved me. You are now bond promised? Jack stared at it. This is a marriage license. Rilla entered the room. We need a diplomatic cover. If they think you're my husband, we may survive. If not, you're just a human helping fugitives. Jack shook his head. So this is fake? Rilla looked at him. It started as survival. But now, it's a contract. One you've already signed, in blood and risk. Jack sat down, frustrated. I'm just a mechanic. I'm not ready for alien politics and space empires. Illyri tilted her head. But you're kind. That's enough. Dramatic reveal. Earth's Arespios. Season's communicator beeped. Face appeared on the screen. A cold human military officer named Commander Briggs. Jack Reeve, this is Earth security. We've detected alien activity near your zone. You're ordered to report immediately. Jack stayed silent. Commander Briggs continued. We've also received anonymous data showing you in close contact with a Class 5 alien female and child. Jack's hands tightened into fists. They're not enemies, he said. Briggs stared at him. We decide who's an enemy. The signal cut. Conflict RSAS. Jack turned to Rilla. They're watching. You saw the drones. Now Earth knows. This fake marriage might be the only thing saving all of us. Rilla nodded. We go to the Orion station. It's neutral ground. There we'll file the bond legally. No one can arrest us during the trial period, Jack sighed. Trial period? She smirked slightly. 3 Earth weeks. We must live together, answer questions, and convince the Galactic Council it's real, Jack groaned. So, like a space reality show? In space travel to Orion SDA-TI and the trio entered Jack's small cargo ship and launched toward Orion Station. Inside the ship, Illyri painted on a glass panel with glowing ink. Rilla read old Earth novels Jack had in storage. Jack watched her more than he wanted to. He couldn't deny it. She was strange, serious, powerful. But there was something gentle under her sharp edges, and when she smiled at Illyri, something softened in him too. That night, Rilla stood at the window of the ship. Why didn't you run? She asked Jack quietly. I guess I wanted to see how this ends, he replied. She looked at him. Most humans would have left us behind. He shrugged. Most humans haven't met you. She didn't say anything after that. But her hand rested beside his. Not touching. Just close. Ending hook. CLIFFNG. As they approached Orion Station, Jack looked out the window. He expected peace. But instead, the docking bay was full of warships.alien banners. Red lights. Patrols scanning every ship. Rilla's face turned. Pale. They're here already. Jack grabbed the controls. Too late to turn back? A voice crackled on the comm system. Incoming ship. State your name and bond status. Rilla took a deep breath. Tell them, she said. Tell them you're my husband. Jack stared at the speaker, then slowly spoke. This is Jack Reeve, husband of Commander Rilla of Xylan. A long pause. Then the voice replied, Permission. Granted. Welcome, Mr. Rilla, Jack whispered under his breath. What the hell did I just sign up for? Asterisk. The door opened with a hiss. Jack stepped inside the waiting chamber of Orion Station. The air smelled cold and sharp, like metal, and fear. Across the room, a tall alien in a red robe stared at him with glowing yellow eyes. Without a word, the alien reached into its cloak and pulled out a small scanner. Jack froze. The alien looked at the scanner, then at Jack's face. You're not him, it said. Jack blinked. Excuse me? You're not the human she was supposed to bond with. Jack raised an eyebrow. And who says that? The alien leaned closer. Her original match was chosen by the Xylan Council. A soldier, not a mechanic. The scanner suddenly beeped 3 times. A deadly pause. Guards, the alien shouted. The chase BGINS Jack turned and ran as armored guards entered the hall. His boots slammed on the metal floor. Alarms echoed through the station. Back at the ship, Rilla and Illyri heard the noise. He's been spotted, Rilla said. Illyri's eyes filled with worry. They'll take him away. Rilla's voice was cold but calm. Then we take him back. Jack escapes. The area. Why Jack ducked into a service tunnel. The guards were fast. Too fast, a drone flew past, scanning him with red lasers. Target, human, capture, or eliminate. Jack rolled behind a crate, pulled out a plasma flare from his tool belt, and lit it. The flash blinded the drone for 2 seconds, just enough for him to sprint through a hidden panel and drop into a trash shaft. He hit the ground hard. His nose was bleeding. His wrist was cut, but he was alive. Barely. Comma back at the ship. Rilla stood by the ship's entrance, wearing battle armor Sig Silver, with blue energy veins. She handed Illyri a small cube. If I don't come back, she said, open this. It will guide you to someone who can help. Illyri shook her head, crying, no, you have to come back. Rilla gave her a quiet smile. Then believe I will. Rilla's a few inside the station. The guards dragged Jack into an interrogation room, blood on his lip, wrists bound. The same red-robed alien stood in front of him. You are a fraud, it said. You married a queen without the council's blessing. You brought war to neutral space. Jack spat on the floor. I brought her daughter to safety. That's more than your council ever did. The alien raised a hand to strike him, but then, boom, the wall exploded. A wave of blue energy tore through the room. Guards flew back like dolls. Rilla stepped through the smoke, eyes glowing, her hands pulsing with power. Jack smiled weakly. Took you long enough. She looked at him without blinking. I was deciding whether you were worth saving. Jack grinned. And? Rilla blasted the guard with a stun wave. Still deciding. Escape, SEQ, Eject, and Rilla ran back toward the ship. Sirens echoed behind them. Illyri was already at the pilot seat. As the ship launched. Space around the station lit up. 3 enemy vessels had just arrived. Illyri pointed to the radar. They followed us. The hunters. The real ones. Jack took the controls. Any chance we can lose them? Rilla pressed a code into the ship's console. A hidden compartment opened, revealing a crystal drive. Jack stared at it. What is that? She whispered, my people's last secret weapon. A jump drive no one knows exists. Jack hesitated. What happens if it fails? Rilla looked him in the eye. Then this marriage ends early. Jack slammed the drive into place. Let's stay married a bit longer. The ship vanished into hyperspace just as enemy fire lit a void. Flashback. The first ASSA's stars stretched into long lines outside the ship. Jack remembered the first assassin. He had entered Jack's base quietly, no sound, no warning. Only his glowing red eye. Jack barely survived. But the message was clear. They would keep coming until Illyri was taken. Or dead. Final scene. Nulo CTIO. The ship landed on a hidden moon deep in the dark zone. No signals, no maps, no cities. I stepped out and looked up at the sky. Where are we? Rilla touched the soil. A place I was told never to return to. My family's forgotten world. Jack stood behind them. Why here? She turned to him. Because we can't run anymore. Jack looked at her closely. So, what's the plan? She reached into her suit and pulled out a glowing blade. We train. Sci-Fi back in deep space. The enemy ship hovered in silence. Inside, a shadowy figure watched a screen showing Jack, Rilla, and Illyri. The figure spoke in a dark voice. Find the human. Kill the queen. Take the child. The hunt was far from over. Jack woke up to silence. No ship noise. No wind. No voices. He stepped outside the old shelter they found on the forgotten moon. Rilla stood alone at the edge of a black cliff, her hands behind her back, eyes staring at a strange Broken statue carved into the mountain. It looked just like her. I wasn't supposed to survive here, she said without turning around. I was never meant to be a mother or a queen. Jack walked beside her slowly. But you're both. She smiled, bitter and quiet. That's the problem. Mysterious file FOU near that morning. Jack was exploring the storage room of the abandoned alien temple. He found a glowing panel buried under rocks. A name flashed on it. Project Illyri. He tapped it. A hidden screen opened. What he saw changed everything. File 01. Weapon prototype. Xylan child. Hybrid energy core subject. Queen Rilla's daughter. Artificially designed. Not born. Jack's eyes widened. What the hell? The next file was locked. It required royal blood to open the HFY. To present Rilla's Uriel, Jack stood on the cliff, still processing what he saw. So, she wasn't born naturally? He asked. Rilla didn't answer immediately. She was made, she said at last. In a lab under the capital city? I wanted a child. They wanted a weapon. So I lied. I ran. Jack felt anger building. She doesn't know, does she? No, Rilla said. And you won't kill her. Jack stared at her. She thinks she's normal. She laughs. She paints. She calls me Dad. What happens when she finds out she was built? Rilla turned to face him. Her voice was cold. She will never be just a machine. She is mine. Training begins, but something's WRO the next few days. Jack and Rilla trained at Illyri on the Forgotten Moon. She was fast, strong, smarter than any human child. But sometimes, when she touched alien tech, it lit up instantly like it knew her. One day, she touched the side of a broken drone. Her eyes flashed pure white. The drone turned on and bowed too. Jack jumped back. Did you see that? Rilla grabbed Illyri and pulled her away. It's starting. What's starting? Jack asked. Rilla didn't answer. Enemy strategy, a new PLA far away. In deep space, the enemy watched. The dark figure in the command room turned to a hooded soldier. She's activating, the figure said. Soon, her power will peak. That's when she's most dangerous. The hooded soldier asked, should we destroy her? No, the figure replied. We make her come to us. Willingly. As Jack unlocks the final FIL that night, after Rilla and Illyri slept, Jack went back to the hidden console. He pricked his finger and placed it on the scanner. Nothing. Then he took a hair from Illyri's brush and placed it instead. The final file opened. Project Illyri Final Protocol. If subject bonds emotionally with human male, activate Phase 2. Jack, read more. Phase 2. Subject will protect the bonded human at all cost. If human dies, subject's core will collapse. His face went pale. He whispered, she's not just powerful. She's dangerous to herself. He turned to look at Illyri sleeping peacefully, and he realized if he ever left, she might break. Emotional CO and FLICT the next morning. Jack sat beside Rilla as Illyri played nearby with glowing rocks. We need to tell her. He said, she's not ready, Rilla replied. She deserves the truth, Jack said. She's more than a weapon. She's more than a project. But if we lie to her forever, what does that make us? Rilla closed her eyes. For once, she looked tired. You really love her, don't you? Jack nodded. I didn't plan to, but I do. She turned to him. Then stay. He looked at her. Is that a request? Or a royal order? She smiled. It's the closest thing I've ever said to please. Cliffhanger. Final W when NG. A noise echoed through the valley. Small drone dropped from the sky. Thought it was not attacking. Thought it was projecting a message. A hologram of the enemy commander appeared. Jack Reeve. Human. You are now the center of the storm. Your death will start a war. Your life is the only thing keeping her stable. You have 72 hours. Bring the girl to the dark moon, or we come to Earth. The drone exploded. Jack stood frozen. Illyri grabbed his hand. Dad? She said softly. Are we in trouble again? Jack looked down at her glowing eyes. Yes, he said, but this time, We fight back. Asterisk. The fire was dying out. The sky above the moon had turned red, not from sunset, but from something. Far worse, Illyri sat alone on the edge of the crater, humming softly. Jack watched her from a distance. Something was wrong. She was whispering words he didn't recognize. Strange sounds flowing like ancient music. Rilla, Jack called. She's speaking in a different language. Rilla's face turned pale. She's not speaking. She said slowly. She's channeling. Channeling what? Rilla stepped back, her eyes wide. The memory of our dead gods. The AWAEK into the crystal Rilla had given Illyri was still glowing in her hands. She wasn't just remembering her past. She was absorbing all of Xylan's ancestral memory. Jack ran to her. Illyri. Stop. Her eyes opened. They weren't white. They were stars. Entire galaxies spun inside them. She looked at Jack, but it wasn't just Illyri anymore. It was like 10,000 minds were behind that gaze. And when she spoke, the sky seemed to shake. You are the reason this war begins. Earth RESV and VS far above. Earth's High Command received a broadcast from the alien empire. Your species shelters a rogue queen and a weapon child. Return them or face orbital destruction. The humans didn't hesitate. Commander Briggs appeared on Jack's communicator. Jack, he said coldly, you're ordered to surrender the alien child and her mother. If you don't, Earth forces will consider you the threat. Jack stared at the screen. Are you serious? After everything I've done? Briggs didn't blink. Your loyalty was never to a family of aliens. Jack whispered, she's not just an alien, she's my daughter. A choice to MAKE back on the moon? Jack sat with Rilla inside the shelter. They're giving me a way out. He said. Rilla didn't ask what that meant. She already knew. If you hand us over, she said, you'll be a hero again. They'll clear your name. You'll go home. Jack looked at her. And you? She smiled without warmth. Will disappear. Like all threats do. Then she added quietly, would you do it if she wasn't yours? Jack stood up. She is mine. I don't care how she was made. Earth first. The next morning, the sky turned to flame. A missile rained down from orbit. It didn't hit them directly, but it was close. A warning shot. The Earth ship hovered above the moon now. Preparing for retrieval, a voice echoed from the clouds. This is your last chance, Jack Reeve. Step away from the child. Rilla grabbed Illyri and started running for the canyon. Jack stayed behind, holding up a flare and activating his shield generator. He shouted into the sky, if you take her, you start the war. If you fire again, you'll never understand what she could have become. The ship didn't fire. But it didn't leave either. Illyri fights BCK deep in the canyon. Illyri stopped running. She turned around. No more hiding, she said. Rayla shouted, what are you doing? I'm not a weapon, Illyri said. But if they keep treating me like one, I'll show them what that really means. She raised her hand and the mountain cracked. Lightning from her fingers lit up the sky. Up above, the Earth ships. Systems began to fail. Sparks, smoke, screams. Illyri looked to the stars and spoke calmly. Don't make me protect myself like this again. Cliffhanger. A familiar voice as calm returned. A strange sound echoed from the deep part of the temple cave. A voice familiar but wrong. Hello, Jack. He froze. It was his voice, but it was coming from the shadows. He stepped forward and saw a figure. It looked like him. Same face, same eyes, only its body glowed faintly. Robotic, artificial. Rilla pulled Illyri close. What is that? The fake Jack smiled. Backup plan. In case you failed to betray them, we made a better version of you. And then it pulled a blade made of light. The copy of Jack stood in front of the real Jack. Same face, same voice, same stance. But behind its eyes, cold blue lights flickered. I was made from your thoughts, it said. Your love, your fear, your logic, your weakness. Jack stood his ground. Then you should know one thing. The copy tilted its head. What? Jack took a deep breath. I'd burn every planet in the sky before I let her cry. The final battle began as the temple walls trembled, as the fake Jack activated its weapon. A blade made of pure memory, shaped by artificial motion. Rilla moved to defend Illyri, but Jack stepped forward. She's my fight, he said. She's my family. The clone attacked. Jack blocked with his shield, sparks flying. The copy was faster, smarter, colder. Everything Jack feared about himself. You're not strong enough. The clone said, I don't need to be. Jack growled. She makes me strong. Illyri's ultimate POW air above them. Illyri floated, not by tech, not by magic, but by sheer will. Her skin shimmered like starlight. Her hair lifted as if touched by space wind. Her small hands glowed white. She looked at the stars and whispered, all voices, I hear you now. Every ancestor of Xylan, every queen, every soldier, every broken eye, all their memories lived inside her. But her heart was still that of a child who just wanted a father. She looked down at the two. Jack's fighting, and she chose the bond, human plus Illyri, stepped beside her daughter. Illyri, she said gently, you don't have to carry all of them. Just carry the ones who love you. Illyri nodded. She extended her hand. A thread of light moved from her heart to Jack's. Not the copy. The real one. The thread passed through time. Pain, metal, and memory, and wrapped around him. Jack felt it. Not power. Not energy. Belonging. The climax essay here, the fake Jack lunged for Illyri. But Jack moved first. He didn't block with a weapon. He just stepped in front of her. The blade went through him. Straight through. Blood. Silence. L. Ire screamed, but Jack smiled, even as he dropped to his knees. Still, worth it, he whispered. Always was. The clone looked confused. Why would you do that? You could have lived. Jack coughed. That's what makes me human. I don't run from pain if someone I love is behind me. Illyri touched his chest, and everything stopped. The clone dissolved. Gone. Just data. Erased by truth. Aftermath, a new FETU days passed. Rilla knelt beside Jack's body. Wrapped in starlight silk. I placed a single glowing stone on his chest. He didn't just protect us, she said. He taught me how to be more than a weapon. Rilla whispered, he taught me how to feel again. The temple walls opened. The sky cleared. A new ship landed. Not Earth's, not Xylan's. A peaceful delegation of species from across the galaxy stepped out. They bowed. Not to Rilla, not to Illyri, but to the grave of a human who chose love over survival. Epilogue. Years later, Illyri stood on a stage in front of a united galactic council. I was built by science, she said, but I was raised by kindness. You call me alien, you call me hybrid, but everything good in me comes from one human. A large statue stood beside her. It showed Jack, standing tall, holding the hand of a small alien girl. Inscribed below, he didn't save the galaxy, he saved one child. And that changed everything.